touched on a topic there that I'm going to say something before we get too far. Talk about how a guy like you that loves to hunt, do all that stuff, and you just mentioned you hardly hunt at all. Talk about how that's like how how'd you make that transition and you were okay with it? Or does it bother the shit out of you that you don't get to hunt much?
You know,
He's gonna be going back to a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
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 No,
I
I
mean, I
was
know you were stuck with us all fall, which I would probably go back to a 9 to 5 after that, but
no, it's I have just as much fun doing this as I would hunting. So plus I'm not working the 9 to 5. Like when I was working a 9 to 5, I was miserable. And all I did was think about deer and whitetails and filming and stuff because it's not just hunting. I love filming. So it's not as bad as what most people would think, like being the avid hunter. Like I'm still an avid hunter. I still think about whitetails daily, but I still have just as much fun doing this. But I'm gonna try to kind of limit my trips, I guess, and spend a little bit more time at home and for hunting, like personally. But yeah, like I said, I have just as much fun doing that. So um,
that's exactly the point that I figured you would hit because that's when people, we get questions all the time. How do we do what you guys do, or how do we get
mhm,
into it? And that's
yeah.
one of my main topics I touch on is like, Brennan and I were in a tree for, probably 70, 80 days this fall.
Mhm.
And you gotta love to run a camera. And like I always tell people, I'm just as happy, if not more pumped for whoever's killing the deer than
Oh
they
yeah.
are. And if you can't
Right.
tell yourself that you're going to be able to do that, do not get into this industry
Hmm.
because you got to
One,
be able to run a camera and be just as happy.
Yep.
Otherwise, you'll never make it.
And
And that's
it.
the
and
honest to God truth because you won't. I mean,
Hmm.
not starting out anyways. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
we'd love to be the big shows that yeah, they have a whole production following them around, but I mean, until that happens, and we always talk about it, like, boy, that'd be nice if Brennan, Mike, and I could run around and we hunt literally all fall and never have to touch a camera. Yeah, that'd be fine and dandy, but let me tell you, it's not anywhere soon. Like,
yeah,
you know,
it's
like, uh,
but you're lucky though, JP, and you too, Scott, to an extent. But like you're filming, not like you're out, 90 days a year out filming random shows with people you don't know or care about. You know,
yeah,
Hmm.
at least you've
Yeah.
got, you're part of a deal with, obviously people you work with, but that you consider friends too. And so, like in my situation, like my first year being, like self-employed filming, like I was out filming some hunting stuff and I wouldn't call them friends and stuff. And I realized right away, like, I don't want to film hunts for a living because then I don't get to hunt at all. And I still run a camera a bunch or like, film with friends and stuff, but it's different, opposed to just running out being a hunting cameraman, and when I think that's the reality, a lot of people that want to get in this industry, they can't just like create a show or don't have a friend that runs a show. If they want to get into filming, they got to be out filming quote unquote random people. And that's hard for them because then they're not getting that satisfaction from someone killing, then that's when people get, either jealous or want to be in front of the camera. And people, that's why I think a lot of people don't make it, and, because you got to work your way up.
Hmm.
yeah, that's a really solid point there. I mean, we get blessed because we are doing it with some of our best buddies, and we're not. That's why, even Mike and Brennan will say, that's our last thing we want to do is freelance, quote unquote, because then you are stuck,
Right.
running around with random Joe Schmo, and he don't give a shit as long as you're getting it on film, and like you said, you don't
Right.
really give a shit if he shoots one because you're there to get paid, right?
Hmm.
And that's a lot of people don't have the luxury to get in with such a tight knit group that we have.
Right.
Um, and we don't take it for granted. And I hope we never have to move away from that just because, yeah,
Right.
that freelancing stuff is, yeah, you can make a lot of money, but like you said, it's shitty work. You're not with who you want to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
And
What?
as you get to like even like me now, like when it comes to filming hunts, like it didn't work out with this year. Like Bede wanted me to come out film late season North Dakota, but like you know, I would probably 90% of hunting shows, if someone asked me to come out and film, I'd probably say no. But like if it was one of you guys that needed a cameraman for whatever reason, I'd be there because, you know, when you're with someone like a friend, like therefore then I would be just as pumped to film you or be or someone put a buck down, you know.
Yeah.
for sure.
Right now, what I'm doing is exactly what I was doing 10, 15 years ago, you know, filming buddies, and that's what I love doing. So it's really no different, honestly.
Right.
So, but as far as like getting into that position, like some people I'm sure want to become, you know, full time in the industry. Like you think it like just fell in our lap, but you got to work your ass off to get here. You got to put yourself out there and get yourself known. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I
Right.
mean, I spent nights looking up YouTube videos, you know. I picked up my first camera probably at 14 years old filming, but it's it's not the same. You know what I mean? So like 5, 6 years ago when I decided, you know, hey, I want to follow my dreams and work in the industry, that's when I put the time in. And I called my mom. I was like this close to like leaving my job, my 9 to 5 job. And I just had a dream and stuck to it. I worked my ass off to get there too. So
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
everything doesn't fall into your hands. I mean, I had it pretty good coming in with these guys because they had already had their, you know, pretty much home base set up.
mhm,
But I always tell people it wasn't, you know, hey, open door, you're going full time. You know, it was, I started
You had to
second, you know, I was
sacrifice a
on,
lot.
oh yeah, I was on second shift making 70 grand a year. And I
yeah,
knew that wasn't going to do it because we couldn't travel. You know, I couldn't be with the guys on the weekends. So then I looked for a job that, you know, took a $25,000 pay cut, but it was 4 tens. And then it was pretty soon I got to work 3 tens. So now I can travel, you know, Friday and Mondays and still have a 9 to 5 job, you know, like it was, and each, you know, every couple of years I would do that, just slowly working my way. Like I need to,
mhm,
there's no way I can travel with these guys. And, you know, I wasn't getting paid for, you know, 3, 4 years. I was just doing it because I wanted to do it, you
mhm,
know, and I knew that eventually down the road, a door is going to open as long as you work at it, right?
mhm,
And obviously got blessed to work with the guys I do, but, and then finally, you know, everything's got to line up. You know, that's what I tell people. Like, you can't just, you know, next week, hey, I'm going to quit my 9 to 5. I'm going to start a hunting show and everything's going to be fine and dandy. And it's
mhm.
not going to work out like that, you know. And even if you do jump in with us, you know, we got guys that, you know, like let's say the East Siders, you know, they're going to probably work their 9 to 5 and whatever. But if they had one of them that was full blown, hey, I want to do this for a living, it's not like we're going to just say, all right, here you go. You know, like,
Right.
because we all work there, you know, Brennan and Mike especially. I mean, they started it from ground level and they worked their 9 to 5s for years before they went full time, you know. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people overlook is, oh, you guys got it made. Oh, you're 26 years old and doing what you love. Well, yeah, but I didn't just fall into this. Like my parents weren't loaded and
Right.
gave us all the camera equipment, send us on all these hunts. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of work that goes into it, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
it's
at some point,
go ahead.
I would just say at some point, you know, whether it's hunting or not, you're running a business and there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into it and a lot of unknown, no matter how long you've been doing it.
Yeah. And I
And
think this is like that perfect segue into like explain to us sweats like you don't just hunt, right? Like
Right.
you don't hunt in
I
the
wish.
fall and then you just sit in the Bahamas all, you know, all winter and spring and live it up. Like what do you do, you know, in the off season to help get you into the fall and then you can hunt all fall?
Yeah. I mean, nothing really changes for me. Like it's easy, like, especially during the fall, right? Like I feel like when I'm out like grinding, they do an Instagram story almost daily, right? Like another day or chasing another buck or and I get like a fair amount of questions of people like, how do you hunt every day? It's like a lot of those days I'm in a tree till 10 in the morning, running out, doing shoots for 4 hours, getting back in a tree for the afternoon, and then editing all night. Because, you know, I'd say 90% of the work I do in the world of production is outside of the deer hunting industry. You know, whether it's real estate or doing commercials for businesses or weddings. I mean, shoot, I've still working on weddings from this summer. Or, I feel like it's a ton of it, and it allows me to pretty much finesse my schedule so I can be hunting a lot. And then once we get to this time of the year, it's just trying to get as much work done as possible and make as much money as possible. That way, when we get to the fall, there's work I can either turn down or take my time with, so I can just be in a tree more, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, for sure.
I fortunately have clients to where, like, still in the industry that I do work for as far as producing videos. So, in the off season, I'm doing a lot of editing, and one of my clients right now, I'm doing 2 videos a week. So that keeps me pretty busy. And like I said before, like, I don't have an off season as far as work goes. Like, I don't go hunting and I don't not make money certain parts of the month. So I've got a steady paycheck each month, so, and then like when I'm filming, it's a little different, you make a little bit more filming. So, yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, I try to spend a lot of time with family because we just had a new baby, as you all know, and it's just it was a rough fall as far as being gone and having the little one. It was just it's definitely not easy to do, but for both sides. But yeah, I mean, off season, I'm still working. I mean, I'm not out filming as much as I would be during the fall, but I try to maintain a schedule too, like I've got my own office and stuff. I work from home, fortunately. So I try to, wake up at the same time, start at the same time, get on a schedule, as any other person would do as far as working a 9 to 5, but and then, spending the evenings with the family. But
Dude, I
sure.
could go on for like a long time about the amount of comments and shit people talk to me about, like, oh, it's so amazing. You get to work from home, self-employed. Like, you probably just do whatever, whenever you want. And I'm like, mentality that would make you not self-employed because you wouldn't make any money.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Yeah. Well, to make money, you actually got to do work. You can't just, it's not passive income. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah,
I need those
it was,
parents that put money in my bank account every week. Here you go. Here you
There
go.
you go.
Need my credit card? Go ahead. All right. But I don't have those parents, let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
when I was thinking about going self-employed and like kind of making that, jump, I guess, like my thought was like, man, I could, work whenever I want, not working 40 hours a week, and lo and behold, that I'd not realize that I'd be working about double what I worked at 9 to 5, but it definitely makes it all worth it.
Oh yeah. No, when I had that 9 to 5, I don't know, just wasn't happy. I mean, obviously you make that own choice whether to be happy or not with it, but it's just, I'm the type of guy that, you see something and you want to do it, you go after it.
Yeah.
That's what I did. Like, I have a lot of friends too that say, "Oh man, you got the dream job. Man, I wish I was in your shoes." Well, if you want to do it, work your ass for it, man. I mean,
Yeah.
anybody can do anything they want as long as they put their mind to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sure. There's a lot that behind the scenes that they don't see, like it's as simple as travel. I tell people all the time, if you can't live out of a suitcase, you'll never do what we do.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I'll leave in early August. I might not be home till Christmas. I
Hmm.
don't have a set time to be home, and I might be home for 2 days and gone for another 2 months. And
Yeah.
that's the part that a lot of people can't do, right? Like, and I get it. You get homesick or whatever, even if you're younger. A lot of people say, well, you better do it before you're married because then it's over. Well, there's guys that do it when they're married. They're just home a little more. Like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to leave for 4 months straight, right? But you're still gonna leave for 2, 3 weeks at a crack, and you better be able to do it, right?
I'm that guy.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
married, have kids,
Yeah,
but I try
and
to
it
limit myself,
sucks.
as far as the time frame I'm gone. You know what I mean?
I think it's important for someone that if someone wants to get, whether it be in the hunting industry or getting a business for himself, like there are multiple ways to do it. Like with you guys, like you travel, like JP saying, like leaving August, might not get home till December. Like I couldn't imagine doing that. Like that, like when you're actually doing that and on the grind, that's like so difficult. And where like as me, I still like probably travel more than like the typical person. Like on obviously tell I'm not home right now, I'm traveling for work, but like I try to set it up where it's like I've got a few set trips in the year, but or like 70% of my business comes out of my local area, where if you want to get into production, filming, video, photography, like there are ways to get into it where, like I have to be home to make money, but I also make money through like whatever you want to call it nationally, right? Where it's not like anything to do out of my hometown. So because traveling like that isn't for everyone, whether you're married, have kids or not, you know,
Yeah.
but there are still ways to go about it where, you don't have to travel as much.
So JP, you heard our story on what we do in the off season after hunting. So what exactly do you do, and what does Black Stamp Media do as far as other work?
Yeah, for sure. So just rolling off the season right now. We're doing quite a bit of real estate, even in the wintertime, because obviously, as you know, real estate doesn't just shut down in the winter. So we're doing some of that, and then obviously we're still running. We're going to try and run our semi-live series, which is our new series we dropped this fall, weekly. We're going to try and push it all the way through the off season, and kind of give people like that background look at what we are doing. Even when we're not out hunting and we're not shed hunting, we're going to try and mix in some new stuff this year. Sturgeon spear and stuff, things that like people are into but doesn't get a lot of publicity, right? So we're going to kind of try and run that stuff. So we're working on that. Mike's going to start working on obviously all our Breaking Spring episodes for this year. That'll drop here coming in the spring. And so during that, we're still doing, we're just wrapping up all of our stuff for 2021 with partners, and Brennan's working hard in the office, lining up everything for 2022 and trying to, find new partners and work with, a lot of the same, obviously, partners that we've worked with for years. So he does a lot of behind the scenes on the phone, emailing, things like that. We're rolling out I just got all of our mock-up designs for our whole new apparel launch. So that'll be coming up here in the next couple weeks. With that, our whole March, every weekend in March, will be at trade shows. So Brennan and I will run to, I think we start in Iowa at the Deer Classic, and then we're going to go to Kansas and then Ohio, and then we finish up back at our home show here in the Dells in Wisconsin. So that'll be a busy month. So between all that kind of stuff and editing, obviously I'm in the office a couple days a week, just working on semi-live stuff, working on, partner videos, things like that. And then if you do a couple of real estate shoots, you're doing that. And then that's going to roll us right into turkey season. Then obviously you guys know we run that as a pretty full-blown operation there for 4 or 5 weeks in the spring. And then our summer usually that's when we get all our weddings start flying in. And then, we do a couple like music festival productions usually in the summer. And then obviously a lot of real estate too gets hammered out there. And then by then Mike's already pounding out, all of our episodes for, next fall that came from this fall. We get a lot of questions this year running the new semi-live. Are we still going to run our like bread and butter shows? And that's like our main thing we want to stress is yes, we're still going to drop, all of our, let's say, we're going to take all our bread and butter from our semi-lives and put it into a show and air them on all of our platforms, because a lot of people were concerned about that. Well, are you just going to run the semi-live and not run an actual show? No, we're still going to have our shows on top of the
And you
semi-live.
you guys actually leave a lot of stuff out like that wasn't shot. Like
Yeah, our
you
semi-lives are very raw
yeah,
to the point, pretty much.
yeah.
I'll go through them and pick out anything that'll make the story come full circle, but it's not, a lot of our camp life, a lot of our, BSing around the fire, all that kind of stuff gets left out for our main shows. So a lot of people think, well, we've already seen this, we've seen this kill. And that's kind of when we brought out the whole semi-live thing. That was some of the feedback we got back. Well, we're already going to see, what happened, what brings us back to the other show or the main show is, yeah, exactly. You're going to see a lot more of the behind the scenes, the camp life, what we're known for, right? I mean, that's kind of, we want to tell more of the story.
Yep.
So,
Sure.
but yeah, I mean, we're busy. It's not like in the off season, we're just living the life. We all kind of have our own little thing. Like I said, Brennan's working on the computer doing partner stuff. Mike's full blown editing. I'm editing our semi-live stuff and doing real estate stuff. Mike's doing some real estate stuff. So it's just, we kind of all work together really well, which is nice. I do a little bit of bass fishing stuff in the spring and summertime too. And just kind of keep the ball rolling. Like you guys both said, the more we work now, the easier it is come fall and when we want to really hunt. So just gotta stay busy. And but there is time, like right now, usually on the weekends, that's my time to hang out with buddies you haven't seen since last summer, or go and do stuff, or family time. Like this weekend, I'm going up by my dad's, riding snowmobiles because I haven't seen him, in shit since gun season. That was in November. So just trying to equal them out, work during the week and hang out and have some beers on the weekend because we all love to do that.
Oh yeah.